Alright, and welcome back to the 6th edition of the Weekend Rants. I'm Cole Marcus Cash, and these are the bottom 5 things that pissed me off the most this week. At number 5, we're spending way too much time on this shots. So this is going to be a collaborative effort here. Kushida is an amazing wrestler. The time splitter thing that he does, I never got it even outside of NXT. It doesn't really fit in this world, the world of NXT. It's just very out of place, and it needs tweaking for sure, at the least. Maybe not as much tweaking as something else on this list, but something needs to be done there. Shotzi Blackheart, I've ranted on, I think, weekly at this point, which is not intentional. It just upsets me so very much every week. A lot of things need to be done there. Everything needs to be done there. All of that needs to change. But it's even bringing down the way. And I'm not the biggest Johnny Gargano fan in the world. I'm not the biggest Candice LeRae fan in the world. I like Austin Theory. I have yet to really form an opinion on Indy Hartwell. But the Shotzi against Candice thing, and Kushida now I guess is gonna have a title shot against Gargano, and it's just too much clownery and ridiculousness packaged. Like, everybody in this is a goofy character. Nobody's serious, nobody's threatening, nobody's dangerous. It's just clown, 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 to various different degrees. But it's like, come on. This used to be the best show on TV in terms of wrestling in America anyway, and now it's just so dreadful except for like 1 or 2 matches. Everything else is just horrid, and it just oh man. At number 4, just the old legends. Can out with the old? Can we call it that? Monday Night Raw's ratings keep sinking, and they keep making it worse. So this week their reaction is just bring back a bunch of legends, or people will refer to as legends. Let's also advertise legends that we didn't have commitments from to show up, which is the most disappointing, because personally, out of everybody listed, I was most excited to see Carlito and Eva Marie, mostly because they haven't been there in a while, and they shouldn't have left when they did leave, I think. But like Ric Flair, we see him all the time. Hulk Hogan, we can never see him again, and it'd be perfectly fine. Like Alicia Fox, that's not a legend. Mickie James was an active wrestler 45 seconds ago. So it's not a good cast of legends, and they didn't have a purpose. They were just hanging around backstage. Like, if it felt like Legends Night as something they could advertise for the people working there to get their morale up, it didn't need to be advertised for the fans, because it didn't do anything except for, I guess you can say, give an excuse for a main event angle for a pay-per-view Royal Rumble world title match that nobody wants to see anyway and shouldn't see, because it's not gonna be good. This was all so bad, and I don't understand how people can continuously stub their toe to spite their foot. I don't get it, but hopefully we can sometime soon just stop with the tropes and bringing back the people that are 107 years old. It's not necessarily, and it's not helping. At number 3, the Academy Award does not go to Montez Ford. Okay. Preface. Big fan of Montez Ford. He is ridiculously athletic, otherworldly. So he's fun to watch. He's a bundle of energy. I don't like the singing thing that he does, but that's minute. Like, I can deal with that. But his acting's really bad. Street Profits promos are kind of but Montez Ford's acting in particular, we saw it with, you know, when his drink gets poisoned, he's perfectly fine unless he specifically shakes the rope and then he passes out. We saw that, what was that, over the summer. Um, Now he's trying to work an injury with his leg, which I can applaud that because, like, nobody sells anymore. They appreciate work, you're selling an injury continuously, consistently, you know, but he'll do a move and he'll be standing right upright and he'll just like cartoonishly just drop. And with the face making and things like that, like he's done so much and gotten so far with his training. If he can just be set aside and just be taught a little bit of acting, I think we have a major money making player here with Montez Ford. But his acting it's cartoonish. Is the only way I can describe it. It's silly and it takes me out of the moment that I wasn't really in the first place because I have Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode as my new tag team champions, who I prefer as individual talents, and I'm not even sure either one individually as champions. So I don't know. I'd assume this quote unquote injury, however real it may or may not be, um, I'm assuming it's a way to write off the Street Profits from television for a little while, which I think would be welcomed because they've been on TV every week and as champions for so long throughout 2020. A refresher, I think, is long overdue. You can take them off TV, both of them, because Angelo Dawkins isn't someone to put on TV alone. And I don't know, let them come back with maybe we can get a new tag team in from NXT or something. Number 2, keeping the theme of acting. We're acting ridiculously here with the gimmick that Xia Li and Boa and whoever these other people are, the older man and the was it like a ghost woman or something? Like, is that Sister Abigail? Like, what is this? Um, it's cool as a premise, right? Like, they were, I guess you could say, abducted, and they were tortured and forced to train, and they became hardened warriors. But I'm not getting, hardened warrior that's gonna run through the division vibes. I'm getting Kenzo Suzuki vibes, right? Just like so cheesy and antiquated and, maybe kind of racist. Um, it's not gonna have a proper payoff, and it looks kind of cheesy. Like the Mortal Kombat swords that Xia Li's over here, doing whatever those moves are on her way to the ring, and then just doing random, uh, posing and movements in the middle of her match. Just fight. We don't need the theatrics and the movement, at least not so much so. Um, I don't know, like she looks like a badass now, a lot more than she did before, but it's another example of just coming off rather cartoony, and it's just not necessary. It's a bit over the top. And I think if we can scale that down a bit and just focus on the possible badassery, it would mean so much more, especially if rumors are true and you do lose Rhea Ripley to the main roster. Besides Raquel Gonzalez, you could have another badass. because you've already fumbled the bag on that with Ember Moon's return. So I don't know. Let's just cheese it down a little. But at number 1, and this is often the case with a lot of the booking and the writing with these shows, but this match in particular against Matt Riddle, we had a severe Lashley in logic. Bobby Lashley always holds his Hurt Lock full Nelson well beyond him hearing the bell ringing and the ref begging him to release the hold on his opponents. But this week, Bobby Lashley released his full Nelson as soon as he felt his opponent tap. Like, that's not a thing. He doesn't do that ever. As soon as he started using the Hurt Lock full Nelson instead of his version of the Dominator, he's always been healing it up and holding it on too long. But this week, it was convenient for the story and the match finish to have him release the hold right away. It didn't make sense. Why would he do that suddenly now on someone that he kind of despises when he's really pissed off, and he's pissed off every week now, right? Like, if he was a face and he did that and he wanted to go, yeah, I won, it's still stupid, but it makes more sense because he's all cheery. But his entire run with this submission, he holds it on to the point where he almost gets the decision reversed and get himself disqualified. So why would he break what he does this time just because? It was way too easy of an out and way too obvious that there was going to be a shenanigan immediately after, because you just had this guy do something he never does ever. Didn't make sense. It's a complete lapse in logic, and it's a shame that you did it to Lashley, because he's one of the very few believable badassery people in the entire company at the moment. And it's disgusting. It's such a waste and disappointment. It didn't need to be done, but unfortunately, these are the kind of decision makings that's been plaguing all 3 of their shows for forever and a day, mostly because they have people who don't know or care about wrestling writing these things. It's so frustrating to watch as a fan. Much harder to talk about after the fact every week. But that's a quick rundown of things that pissed me off the most. I'd like to hear what you guys think. Been a few DMs. I guess that's just the way this is going. Maybe I'll turn off comments altogether on these, but feel free to reach out again. Let me know what you think, how vehemently you disagree with me. There's a lot of Shotzi Blackheart fans out there, apparently. What you would have had in a different order. But either way, as always, like, share, and subscribe. I've been Cole Marcus Cash. These have been my weekend rants, and I'll catch you next time.